Yɛdam ase ne amama kwa abade maba ayeka TV so abusia busu fu KVS ene ne nso matena se a ɔman Ghana mu nsɛm ena abusia ye ba abadwendwe ne ho a na yeyi was running mate dia asudie kese pa ene da so because campaigns ahodo a wobɛyɛ aboa onia na odi amanyɔkuo n'anim no abusia enya asɛm ketewa na no ho asɛm ne ne comparison bia ba sa comparison no agu nkofo bia ba mu a omunya kra anka omu running mate omu yi no omu be change no na anka omu de foforo aba nanso aye too late na busia Jane Naana opoku agiman ene Dr. Matthew opoku prempedie na nsemu na munim se Jane Naana ho nsɛm bebre ene na monframa mu a ni nyina ye owura former president John Dramani Mahama atembi okodidi Vice President Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia na wo chese Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia stupid questions bi a wobusa Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia no Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia embra bonten no be answer those questions na unjai useless talks na wo say na me na me see we na we see we na how many way did you build na wan no John Dramani Mahama gonja ni de sokonkono sisa ndoma na ekoso a owura Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia kani nyina no enya de a ehia na say before that say owura former president never abontina be kan nsem we nyina no say na Jane Naana opoku agiman e kan account what that say say aba we ya yekwa akoto no enya atemdidi asem say anka atemdidi na edibu oman bia anka oman Ghana de anka enye US mo practical because Ghana e aman bia di atemie pa na ni nyina no Jane Naana opoku agiman e kan account what that ansa na former president eba abeka say Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia enja useless talk any stupid things na we no na amanfo bi kan say ene wan kasa wo running mate akansem we dia adenti na former president eda so a onam monten so a odidi atem na amanfo bi de ho comparison aba omu chem say Dr. Matthew opoku prempe ene Jane Naana opoku agiman omu nyina no aserve as ministers of education ewo Ghana mu enti anda obia no omalete enyoma obia ye a ede bo oman Ghana no ena omuba hanso a no omalete enyoma wezu ye a ode bo oman Ghana ene enyoma we ye a eno nso aboa oman Ghana ene we nso ne enyoma we ye a aboa oman Ghana na oma list ni nyina na oma compare ni nyina na omu compare ni nyina wie ye ne de amanyokuo ni mu baako ehu se ene ye running mate you cry de ne bai say ni mu aha enti no mistake pa kese na sese de yaye abusia enti emu nkyiremu nyina ewo audio we mu yekọ ne nkotie nsempɔte a ekọ so ho no.
We are going to talk about the two running mates of the leading political parties in Ghana. I'm talking about Professor Jane Naana opoku agiman versus Napo or Matthew opoku prempe, Dr. Matthew opoku prempe of the NPP. Guys, I've been watching these two audio very closely, and there seemed to be a lot of conversation around both of them. There has been a lot of comparison about their competencies, their track records, their what they bring to the tickets. And today, I think that most people were sharing their views about what they'll bring to the table, what they expect both of them to do for their tickets, and what have you. Guys, we have just less than a month to the election. So I'll say, with my assessment of their performance and contribution to their campaign tickets, I can confidently say whatever I say here, I say it with my full chest, and I'll defend it wherever I go. There's facts on facts. I've read the grounds. I've observed both of them very closely and keenly. So this is my view. All right. But before we go into all of that, I would like us to look at their history. Where are they coming from? What have they done for Mother Ghana before? Let's look at their strength, all right? Who they are. Let's look at their weakness. Let's look at their contribution to Ghana as a country, and let's compare their strength. Let's assess their weakness. And what is their contribution? As at now, we are talking about now, to the tickets they are both serving, or they are both what's the right word? Guys, you shall get my point, right? Let's go. So guys, Professor Jane Naana was the Minister of Education, and Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh was the Minister of Education. They've all served as Ministers of Education for 4 years in their respective governments, or in their governments. So for Professor Jane Naana, she served as the minister in 2013 to, I think, January 2017. So that was 4 years. So it was, I think, February 2013 to January I think 2017. That's Professor Jane Naana. And in her time as a minister, okay, she was marked as the person or the minister who brought a lot of policies that changed the educational sector. All right. And among some of the things she did was to change the colleges of education to, like, it was kind of an upgrade. So she kind of upgraded the colleges of education into tertiary schools. Okay. And she also made some significant reforms, okay, when it came to the polytechnics. All right. So for the polytechnics, they were just normal poly, as we knew. But I think through her reforms, she was able to change or convert them into technical universities. All right. So in her time as a minister, she was able to actually, she did well in terms of policy formulation for the educational sector. All right. And most people thought that she didn't really do well. But no, let me add that she also did very well when it came to the construction or infrastructure. So they built a lot of schools. Okay, the e-blocks. Okay, I think we should also credit her for that. She did so well in that regard. She did well. Now let's talk about Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. So for Matthew Opoku Prempeh, most people call him the implementer of free SHS, because free SHS was the baby of Nana Akufo-Addo. So when Akufo-Addo won election in 2016, in 2017, immediately he came to power, he was looking for the fine gentleman or somebody he believes can nurture free SHS. All right. And I think Napo did so well. Okay. And in his time as a minister, I think the senior high school students did very well in their WASI. And I learned that most teacher training unions or teacher unions, either UTAG, CTAG, what have you, all these institutions or unions never went on strike. Okay, because he was able to engage them so well. All right. And he was also credited for restoring the allowance, the teacher training allowance, nursing training allowance for the tertiary students in the colleges of education and the nursing school. And obviously, NDC is known for cancellation of allowance to the point that even Mahama even mentioned that he doesn't even care if he has to lose the election by just cancelling the allowance. And of course, it went against him, as we all know. All right. Then I think he provided a lot of opportunities for the teachers to engage him, advise him on what to be done. So, I mean, he's one of the ministers who did not really have a lot of issues in the education sector. So we have to give it to him. All right. So for me, both of them have served as education ministers. And now, Professor Jane Naana is an educationist. She's been a lecturer and advanced to the professor level. And you know, being a professor is not a joke. You need to have brain to get there. All right. And she has done amazingly well for herself, and she even became the vice chancellor of a university. That's not a joke. And when you look at Matthew Opoku-Prempeh, he's done amazingly well for himself. I heard he's a dentist, and he's also a politician. Unlike Jane Naana, she's just an educationist and a literature scholar, if that's the right word. Okay, and Napo is a politician and has been a member of parliament for his constituency, which is the Menchia South constituency. All right. Now let's talk about Jane Naana in the education sector again. Professor Jane Naana cancelled the teacher training allowance. It was in her time, and there were a lot of schools that did not have chalk to write. She did not provide chalks, to the extent that Mr. Atter's wife went to a school and told them that yeah, mamu chalk would never mamu chalk china. So parents should buy their own chalks. Yes, it was in Jane Naana era or term as a minister of education. Again, it was in her time that teachers were asked to teach for 3 months, then they are paid only a month salary. It was Jane Naana time, guys. I don't have enough time, but let's go. In her time too, we had a lot of issues in the education sector. There was so much demonstration, there was strikes from